Hello, welcome to a craft with me video. Today I'm going to be making something that's kind of a layered tag slash shaker thing with a pocket. So I don't really know what to call this. Maybe we'll come up with a name by the end of the video. I was just sitting at school. I had a couple of minutes just to kind of sketch out some ideas while my students were working on something, and I came up with this idea. So this is what we're gonna do. If you want to craft along with me, I'm gonna show you the supplies that I'll be using. I have some paper, cardstock. I've got some Distress Oxide. I have glue. I have a beverage, which is always handy. A snack, also handy. I've got a scoring board, scissors. I've got some little confetti pieces that I got at a thrift store. 50 cents for this whole pack, which is nice. I have a couple of pages that are digital prints, and I have some of this meshy lace stuff from a dress. If you're gonna craft along with me or follow this tutorial and you don't have the exact same supplies that I have, that is okay. You're welcome to make do with what you have. We're gonna start with a piece of paper that is 5 inches by 9 inches. This way. So I just took a regular piece of paper and cut it down, so 5 inches by 9 inches. We're going to place it on the scoring board, and we're going to score at 3 and 6 inches so that we will end up with 2 scores. Now my scoring board doesn't go all the way to 6, so I've got to scoot this over and then score on the 3 again. So then I should be able to fold it and fold it. Now, I always like to take the little scoring tool or a bone folder, or you can even use the handle of some scissors and just press down those creases. I'm gonna make 3 of these during the video so that if I screw up, I'll have at least one hopefully that works out well. So I'll go ahead and do the scoring and folding for these. So I've tried something different on these two, because this one, I don't know if you can tell, but it's got a little bit of an extra here. So instead of scooting it over after I made my first score like this, I just flipped it around, and that has made the pieces a lot more even. Okay. In the end, it doesn't matter if one's slightly different because we're gonna end up tearing it anyway, and I'll show you that when we get there. Up next, I'm going to cut my tag edge, and I just have this old credit card that's canceled, and I cut some corners off of it, so I use it as a template for cutting tag corners. You can do that, or you can just kind of eyeball it, or whatever works best for you. So then we're left with 3 tag shapes connected together. Up next, we're gonna do some tearing. So we're gonna choose the back flap here, and we're gonna do a torn edge pocket that will be attached later. So I'm just gonna tear it now, and we're going to just tear this. It doesn't matter if it's an exactly straight line. When we junk journal, we strive for imperfection. So the pocket we've torn is going to be on the back of the tag. It's going to be a pocket that will glue down here and here after we've added some decoration, things like that. And then the front of this is going to be where we make the shaker. So I forgot to mention in my supplies, I'm going to be using a punch, and this one is just a circle punch. I'm going to try to line it up in the middle. Actually, am I going to be able to get it in the middle? I feel like that's going to be off to one side. So I can either punch it like it is and just go with the off-centeredness. Let's try one like that. So that is off-center. Another thing that you can do, if you like to hand cut circles, you can do that, or you can cut a different shape for your shaker. The other option is if you have some circle die cuts. So I might try that. Let's see, would this be the right size? Yep. So I'm going to run these through the die cut machine and do better looking circles than the one on this one. All right, this one that we did at first with the punch, I'm gonna set off to the side. I just don't like how it looks there, so let's move onward, shall we? Now, I'm realizing that I kind of did a dumb thing. I should have glued the paper that I want to attach on here first before I did that die cutting. But that's okay, we will make it work. So let's move to that step next, and I want to use some of these papers. These are from Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, and we're going to just glue down on the front part with the hole in it. So I'm going to take some glue, if my glue will cooperate with me. So I'm just going to take some glue. I'm going to go all the way around the circle and then around the outside of the tag shape. And I'm gonna kind of eyeball this and place it where I think it's gonna look good. There's more scientifically accurate way to do this, I'm sure, but this is what we're doing today. Okay, so I've now got it folded, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut around the tag shape. Now, if I had been smart enough to do this at the same time, we would now put our die cut on top of here and run it through. But I'll have to do it a second time because I wasn't thinking. And in fact, speaking of thinking right, I want to cover all of this stuff. So let's do this. This is gonna make it a little bit tricky as far as doing the die cut again, because I won't be able to see as easily where the circle goes, but I don't want to run this through the die cut machine 3 different times. So I should have just done all the layers first and then cut them. I am so sorry about that. I'm not going to start the video over again because I'm just not. All right, I stopped the camera for a minute and forgot to hit play, but all you missed was me doing the cover on the back side of the second one. So we're now going to get the die cut machine again, and I apologize beforehand if I swear while I'm trying to do this, because I'm gonna try to figure out where this is supposed to sit. All right, just a teeny tiny sliver, so I was close. What really helped was to take my fingernail and just really create a crease where the original circle was punched out. So we'll do that again on this one, and I'm just kind of feeling for the indentation where that was and using my fake fingernail to push in on that so there's an indentation all the way around the circle, and that creates a spot for the die cut to sit. We made it. That went a lot better than I thought it was going to. Okay. Now we still need to cover this part here. We don't necessarily need to cover the inside of this because it's going to be folded over as a pocket. So we'll use the same process, and I'm just going to use some of the yellow flowers from this Barber print. So with the dragonflies here, I wanted them on the front of the tag, and we're going to place some flowers on this panel. Using the same very scientific method of eyeball it. You guys are probably thinking, why are you doing like a craft with me / tutorial? You don't even know what you're doing. What else is new? Now I usually have some idea of what I'm doing, but a lot of times I'm just kind of playing to figure it out. Like I said, like I kind of sketched out this idea as I was at work. So we're learning together and trying things together. All right, so I like that, and then this pocket's gonna fold over. We're gonna ink this up in a minute, but we've got to get this piece covered as well. So grab some more glue. This is good for me to do today because I've had some like kind of school stressors just kind of weighing on my mind, things going on with kids and stuff, and not something I can talk about with you guys, but it helps so much to be able to sit down and craft and just think about that and like what I'm making and how I want it to work, and it just kind of lets that other stuff float away. It'll still be there and I'll still have to, you know, deal with it when I'm at school again tomorrow, but there is this wonderful escapism to junk journaling and creating art, which I think is one of the other reasons why I love reading books so much, is that you just get to do something else that completely takes you away from real life. Up next, we're going to take some Distress Oxide, and for this I'm going to be using the color Chip Sapphire. It is kind of a dark, almost smoky blue, I would say. But we'll just go around the edges. Some of the pieces I don't need to go around, like this piece here. I didn't even need to go down this line, so I don't know why I did that, but you know, better safe than sorry. That's the reason why I went around this part, because theoretically it'll be covered, but any like size discrepancy or whatever, I wanted that to show the blue there. All right, I've gone around this with the ink on both of them. The next step is going to be to cover this hole to see through the elements that are being shaken in the shaker part. A lot of times when people make shakers, or most of the time, you'll see some kind of acetate or clear plastic something to go over this, and that is fantastic. But for the journal that these are going to go in, I want to use some of this. This is kind of a sequin mesh thing that is part of my current project, and you will be seeing a flip through of that soon. So I want to use this, and I'm just going to hold it up so I can get an idea of the size of piece that I want to cut. All right, so I need it to cover the circle. Actually, I think I cut that too small. Okay, let's cut here. All right, so this is gonna cover over the circle, and I'll flip it around so that the sequins are shiny face out before we glue it down. And we'll cut a piece for this one. If you're wondering where I got this kind of meshy stuff, I went to a thrift store a few days ago over this last weekend, and I was in their kind of formal wear section and found this dress that I don't know if you would classify it as formal or semi-formal, but it was $6. And I thought, you know what? I have an idea for that. I'm going to turn it into a junk journal cover, and and I've been using pieces of it to create elements in other parts of that journal and so on. So I'm very happy with my $6 purchase. I'm going around the circle, and then I'll just do a bit more glue around the outside here. Now we're going to take our confetti. This was purchased on the same thrift store trip where I got the dress. And this is kind of maybe like a rosy gold kind of colored confetti with some yellow gold bits. I'm not going to put too much in there because we need to be able to shake it and see, you know, it kind of moving around, but maybe we'll do this much. Again, very much scientifically speaking, we're using this much. All right, out comes the glue again, and we're gonna go around the tag shape. And then we're gonna glue this down. And once again, going around the tag shape. And glue it down. Because there is that extra added bulk, take a minute to really press down where you put the glue so that you get it to really grip and hold on. And then we're going to flip this over and glue down our pocket on the back. So just gluing the top and bottom there, and we'll be able to take something and stick it inside. So for example, let's take one of our offcuts from the die cut here, and we can just pop that right inside the pocket. You could add some kind of focal point on the pocket that folds over, but I like how there's not so much going on here because we've got all these flowers here. So you could use this as journaling space or just as a pocket to store things. So again, you could stick something in there. Let's consider this. Let's take this piece that we cut that wasn't quite big enough and let's cut it in half. We could use this as a tag topper. So we could just staple it on, we could glue it on, or we could sew around. I kind of like the idea of stapling. All right, my little stapler seems to have wandered away. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes things just go missing. Now on the back side, I'm trying to not go further down than where the pocket is attached because I want to be able to stick things in the pocket. So we'll start with, let me make sure I'm holding that the right way. We'll press down here. And then on the front side as well. Yeah. Let's try that again with the other one. All right, so you can see that this one's up a little bit higher off the tag than the other one is. I don't think it makes a difference. It's really whatever you like. All right, so we've got our shaker tag with a pocket. I guess that's what we're calling this, a shaker tag with a pocket. And we're ready to move on to something else. So this will be the end of this video. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.